about staying focused. It's about being on top. Go win.
Welcome to the Taylor Wade Hofer Show.
What's up, brother?
What's going on? Good to see you.
Welcome, man. Excited for a conversation today.
Definitely.
So, how's the drive over here, man?
Not too bad. A little bit of traffic, but about an hour and a half to get up here. So that island lifestyle, we don't have to drive too far.
I pulled you far, man. I pulled you far up the island. When's the last time you've been this far north?
I lived up here. I went to Westfield High School.
Right. You
so
said you lived around the corner.
Yep. So that was 2000. I get out of here.
That's crazy, man. So what's it like being back in your old hood?
It's different.
So
It's definitely more
You told
traffic
the
and
parking lots.
crazy, and
Yeah, neighborhood's not what it used to be.
it's a little different. Yeah,
A little different. All right, enough said. And how long have you been on the island now?
26 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, you've been working on the island that long, right?
Yeah, so I went to Texas A&M down there in 2000 and
Yeah.
just decided to stay. I actually got into real estate before I graduated, so it was kind of, you hit that moment of, what am I going to do after graduation? And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm already doing real estate. So that's exactly how it went.
I know, it's Hitchcock, right?
Yeah, we moved
Yeah.
up to Hitchcock to get some acreage, but actively looking to get back, and recently bought a house on the island, and another house, and finishing that one up. It's going to be brand new.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Pretty
man.
fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful home, by the way. You know, I've had a good time.
Yep.
Backyard, awesome pool.
Yeah, you get to come check it out.
Nice setup. Yep. Even my dog came, met your
Yep.
kids. That was
If I can figure out how to keep the pool not green, it's one of my next jobs. It's pool cleaning service. That's all I do. It seems like I mow the lawn and keep up with the pool.
Yeah,
But 5 acres, it's a lot to keep up with.
fun stuff in the
Yep.
summer, right? But yeah, my grandma's from Hitchcock, so got some history there.
Yeah.
I haven't spent a ton of time. I did have a lot of family, on her side.
Yeah.
That we weren't super close with, and some might even still live there, which is crazy. But
It's like 16 miles from the office, so it's not far.
yeah, I know.
but-
I'm on the island all the time. You get down there like no time.
Yeah,
or you'll go back
from there.
Yeah, a few times in a day.
Except
I'm
for
like, that's
this
nuts.
morning, all the employees, some of them live off island, so they send me the pictures in the morning, and they're stuck in traffic because of construction. But that'll be
gotcha.
over soon, and it'll be back to normal.
Got it. Well, man, pedigree real quick, and then we'll dive into stuff. So Jason Keeling, right? Got a 4-year-old Jax, he's awesome.
Yep.
Love Jax. Can't wait for my boys to meet him.
Briley Joe's 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got she's in the mix. But he is the broker of Remax Leading Edge on the island, and so it's awesome. We've been in the real estate space, both of us, for a long time. 150 million last year, shooting for 200 million. I know. This year, enjoyed your what do you call it? Year-end banquet, year-end award ceremony. What did you call it?
Kind of annual award ceremony.
Annual
so
awards.
we put it on for the agents just to kind of highlight their accomplishments because, so many of them are so high ranked in the state. We used to have the number 3 agent in the country, and
Kelly.
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 Yep.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, it's amazing what she accomplished. And now we've got Caroline and Alicia. These guys are going to be number 1 in Texas.
That's that's on the island, and
On the island.
one of the worst real estate markets, and it's
It's
been,
tough,
it's been rough down there.
There's no doubt, but
On the
imagine
island.
what we're going to do when when the market accelerates again, which it is already accelerating.
Yeah, that is
Pretty exciting. Looking at it, I just showed the agents at the meeting on Tuesday that sure enough, sales are accelerating again.
That's exciting.
Year over year, it's pretty interesting. And if we're doing what we're doing now, it's going to be a good run. But we've got a lot of great agents, and so they work together to really make things exciting.
Yeah, that's fired up. And what's the agent count? Is it 75? 50?
50 with Remax, and then we also have Gulf Coast Palms Property Management. We have 10 agents there, so
Okay.
it's kind of it's a different company, but we kind of look at it as it's a way in if they want to do it that way, or sometimes if they're getting closer to retirement and they want to make a change, they can move over there and just hold their license.
Okay, I was just about to, how does that work? Like you said, 10 agents.
Yep.
They're licensed real
They're
estate
licensed.
agents, and they just
Yeah,
depends
'cause
on where they hang their license. Is it like 2 different brokerages, or how's that work?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Remax Leading Edge is the real estate brokerage, and Remax strictly does sales. So we have a separate company called Gulf Coast Palms, and currently managing about 400 units there. So our property managers have to be licensed, and so I'm the broker for both offices.
Got it.
Yep.
That's exciting. And you said y'all, y'all are growing super fast. Maybe about to pick up another 100, right?
Yeah, the goal. We're in talks right now for another 100 units. So I feel like once we kind of hit that 500 unit count, it's a big deal. I mean, there's not very many 500 unit property management companies in the country, so it'll be fun. But we're getting into more commercial. We just picked up a storage facility, so it's our first storage facility.
Where's that?
In Galveston. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Is the one we were texting about the other day?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So we got that. We've got commercial buildings.
Okay.
We just got into really like strip centers and buildings within the last year.
Okay.
And our new goal is a large apartment complex. So if we can get a 200 or 300 unit apartment complex, we'll kind of have all of it, and obviously residential. And then kind of we got that little secret announcement we might talk about later.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna let the cat out of the bag?
I think it's about time.
All right, we'll get there then. So, starting out, I don't know what year did you start Rice in?
2006. So, long story short, I got into real estate because I was a personal trainer in college, and the owners were like, "Hey, we got this building. If you're here and somebody wants to look at it, will you go show an apartment for us?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah. What do I get for it?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you get 1 month's rent." I was like, $1,000 for renting the space? I was making $10 an hour or something. I was like, okay. And so everyone I showed, I rented, and it became a pretty good source of money. And since I worked for the owners, that was technically, fine.
That's
Then I
amazing.
became an appraiser apprentice for about a year, and I thought I might go that route. So that would have been like 2002 maybe. And then I got a job at a real estate and vacation rental company with Prudential. In 2004, I was licensed, already working for them, and graduated at the same time. And 2 years later, at the earliest possible day that I could get my license, you got to be a broker for 2 years
Yeah.
in the old days. And I got my broker's license and started Rice and vacation rentals,
Yeah.
real
that's
estate
exciting.
and vacation rentals.
And you grew the heck out of that. I mean, that was known. I used Rice before I even met you.
Yeah. How
which-
that's so funny. What year did you start using the company?
Golly, let's see. I think it was in 2000 or 2001. No, I'm sorry, 2020 or 2021.
Yeah. I think it was, it may have been after, because I sold in 21 in
Okay.
September. So, but it was still a good company then. I mean, we were the #1 vacation rental company on the island at that time.
Yeah, and then I don't know who it was, but this is funny because I was running the real estate magazine at the time, and whoever I talked to about Ricin, they're like, "You need to meet the guy that owns it. Like y'all's
Yeah.
energy, like young guy, doing great. Got he's blowing up on the island. Ricin's all over the place.
Yep.
And you got this real estate magazine, and I just remember thinking, I was like, people, you'll hear that, and
Yeah.
and they could be dead wrong. Like
We just-
never
Never made it happen.
and we never met, right? And our paths never crossed until they did. And yeah, it's been fun getting to know you, man. Quick
Yep.
friends, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to be
So the
highlighting
secret
some
from
of
the
your
past
successes,
was I just try to stay under the radar, because Galveston was very
That's a good one.
inclusive. Like if you weren't born there, people would try to run you out of town. I mean, in my first brokerage, people admitted after a couple of years, they were like, "Yeah, we were just trying to get you out." I mean, it's like your competition, and then eventually they become great friends, and all became brokers. And some of the people I even worked with in the past, work with me now, which is super cool. But if at that time just being incognito was better for the company, because it was something that I didn't want to be the main person at the company, where 100 or 200 at the end, 275 owners knew my phone number. And in the beginning, everybody had my phone number, and it was pretty overwhelming. But eventually, I just phased myself out. And it's kind of like some of the other vacation companies on the island that I recently met. We're like the same age too, and I'd never met them. And they finally reached out to list one of their properties with me, and I was like, "How is it that I never talked to you guys?" And they're like, "Well, we felt guilty. We never reached out to you while you were in business." And then it was like, "Well, we just felt like we missed the boat." But it's funny, small island, but it's still And they were also they were Aggies, which was cool, but they were also from off the island, so they felt the same way. Like they didn't want to get run out.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it used to be
Interesting.
like, when I got into real estate there, literally the local realtors would not pay HAR members a commission.
Really?
Really.
What?
Yeah. We had a separate association called GAR, Galveston Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
And if you weren't a member, they literally wouldn't pay you a commission.
That's
and so
crazy.
I was with the first agent at the office with Prudential to say, hey, can I co-op with, HAR members? And so I joined. I was the first, office. So I got my broker to join because they had to. And then I became the first office member of HAR for my office.
No way, for Remax.
No, for Prudential back in the day.
Prudential,
Yeah, this was back in the day. Now it's like we're trying to, I feel like we're having to kind of fend off Houston agents a little bit because everybody wants to come down and sell a Galveston property for $500,000 or $600,000, but they have no understanding of local information. They don't know insurance. They don't know seaward of the intercoastal waterway. They don't know the addendums. They don't know the risks involved down there. So it's like I wouldn't go to Austin and sell a house if I don't know how to do that. But a lot of agents will come to Galveston thinking they know the market.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating to say the least, right?
Frustrating and scary, and they definitely don't understand vacation rentals. They don't understand
What are some of
income.
the bad situations that they'll get people in?
Well, I mean,
Besides making the deal and the transaction hard, I mean, I'm sure there's probably more to it that the buyer
Yeah.
or whatever could.
I mean, a lot of times the people won't qualify.
exposed.
It's like they get qualified for a number based on Houston mortgage lenders who base it on taxes and insurance in Houston, and then they get down to Galveston and they don't qualify at all for the price point because it's completely different. Or, you might buy one house here that's an X zone, which is out of the flood zone, or you might buy a house here that's in a V, and you might have a $10,000 a year difference in flood insurance, just one insurance policy. And so
gotcha.
you got to know kind of the market.
Yeah, that's
It's a big deal.
that's tricky, man.
Yeah.
that is.
I
That is
know
a
you
lot.
know about that. Taxes and insurance down there are definitely
Right.
something, but you can do a lot of different things. Like one of the new houses that I built is out of the floodplain, and we didn't put anything downstairs for that particular reason. And so instead of it being $10,000 a year, it's $1,400 a year for flood insurance.
Yeah,
It's a big difference,
that's huge.
especially as a vacation rental. Makes it a lot more exciting
Yeah,
making that money.
yeah, 100%. So, and then I think this is cool. I hear you talk about this a lot because your whole office is bought in. So, Texas Children's Miracle Network, right?
Yeah.
And then that's Remax Leading Edge. That's
So
Or
the
how's that
whole
work?
it's Remax. That's the main fundraising that they do. So, but luckily the way they do it is we have a Children's Miracle Network hospital close by, which is in Houston. So we
Sweet.
actually all the money that we donate goes to Texas Children's, and we got to tour it last year and got to meet some of the children. I mean, it was a pretty
special.
pretty special thing. And so I'm the broker owner, and I have a supervising broker whose name is Louis Solis, who I've been working with for a long time. But he actually was.
Lou's a great guy. I met him at the
Yeah,
Arts
you did.
thing. Yeah.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah,
and
super
he had an
charismatic.
experience with that, being born premature and some different things, and it was that was actually who was involved in that. So it's pretty cool little roundabout thing. But yeah, so we're trying to get the agents to really get behind that. It feels good to donate, but it's also what we're excited about. But our agents are involved in everything. We've got agents that are involved in the paws, gala, and animal, all that stuff. We've got people that are focused on.
I went to that one year.
Did you? In Galveston?
At the Galveston Convention Center. Is that where it was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And then
Yeah,
there's
it
the
was a big deal.
Seafarer Center. I mean, there's so many different things that we're involved in, or the agents are, and we are too. And so they'll say, hey, can you sponsor this, or can you put up a golf team or whatever? And we're happy to do that as a company, but the agents have a lot more power to impact than just the office. So that's why we try to get the agents to do that. Texas Children's, and so we've been a Miracle office for every year.
Yeah. That's it. How many years?
Well, I bought it in 21, and so from 21 on.
You've been running Leading
Remax.
Edge since 21?
Yep.
Cool.
So I bought it right before I sold my company, which I kind of knew was coming, but they called me over for a margarita, and I was like, this is interesting. I wonder what they have. Like, I had no idea what they were going to ask, and they're like, yeah, you want to buy an office? I was like, yes, I do.
That's awesome.
Number one office in the city
Yeah.
with only a few agents. That was the crazy part. And then, I had maybe 10 agents at the time. So I think they had, if I remember right, 15 agents maybe. So joining together, maybe started with 25 agents. And that was at the end, towards the end of 21. So
inspiring. And now you're at 50. That's so solid. Man, and how big of an effort has recruiting been for you? I mean, like because
I would like to say that we were really working it, but it's really been.
That sounds pretty substantial, man. I mean, 5 years. I mean,
yeah.
Or you could be like, that's only like 8 per year ish, but still.
It's not huge because you got people retiring. Like we've had
going out, coming in
7 or 8 agents that were decent agents retire, and I mean that's the end game. They had bought real estate or they had bought vacation properties. One of them had bought in Durango, and once they hit that magical time frame, they were like, all right, we're out. It's like, of course, that's what I would do too.
Yeah, sure.
We had one of the previous owners, she retired to Colorado as well and moved into, I think, Boulder up there. But,
Awesome.
We still follow them, and it's, being able to retire young or when you're ready is the big part of it. So, I think that gain is even bigger because of that retirement. We've had people that had to, maybe go back to work or had life changes. We've had a bunch of agents that moved out of town. So, but we got lucky because we're number one and we have a lot of exposure. And so when we opened the doors, agents came to us, and it's been like that. So it's only been cool in the last 2 years that we've had any kind of advertising at all or outreach for recruitment. So, that's on us, and it is a big part of the business. But we're also, we were a little bit selective because it's RE/MAX. So RE/MAX outsells the competition 2-to-1 as, the marketing campaign. But, so it was kind of like not every agent could be a RE/MAX agent. And there's also a monthly fee that covers some of the technology and stuff. But RE/MAX realized about 2 years ago that they needed to recruit agents and bring in some younger agents. And so we were kind of partnered with them on that concept. We were talking to them that wouldn't it be kind of nice to be able to help agents get into the RE/MAX network and reduce the fees out while they go through some sort of training. So obviously we had in-house office training, but they decided to partner with Brian Buffini and do the whole 100 Days to Greatness, and they offered that free. So it's about a $900 package for free for new agents, and we reduced their fees out for that first year. So we're literally able to take new agents, and they go from 0 sales to, we've had agents do 12 sales in their first year. And
that's substantial.
Pretty substantial.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, recruitment is now, we're getting to be a little bit more county-wide. So our goal is to truly be number one in Galveston County. So we've been number one. That RE/MAX office has been number one in Galveston since it opened. I think the first or second year they got to be number one. But we're at that point of trying to get to the number one in the county. I believe we are currently number 2. So we were number 3. We gained a spot, and so it's entirely possible that this year we'll be number 1 in the county.
How big is that? The county, how deep outside of?
It's big. I mean, we got a lot of cities in there, so there's who knows how many offices. You could look at the top 25 brokerages in Galveston County and see big name offices that you would probably recognize. I mean, the space.
Yeah, for sure.
So you think about, Leak City and, Santa Fe, Hitchcock, even Webster. I mean, that dips down into it. So there's a lot of neighborhoods in there.
Yeah,
and
I got you.
Some of these big name agents and brokers.
Yeah.
So if we can do that, it would be a big deal. And then,
that's a huge deal.
Yeah. So we're excited about the expansion possibilities off the island because even Lago Mar and stuff. I mean, there's just a lot of growth.
Is it really? Tell me about Lago Mar for a minute. I mean, I'm familiar, not super, but I know where it's at. Been there a few times.
It's good. I mean, they put that Buc-ee's in, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's go. So
credit the beaver.
Yeah.
So what's the price difference in canal properties in Lago Mar versus the island Tiki?
Well, Lago Mar up in Texas City. I mean, we're talking about.
Oh, you're talking about there. I'm thinking of what is it right before the bridge?
Tiki Island.
No,
you're thinking of Harbor Walk or
no, a little bit further north, like from going back towards town. Like
you got me. Bayou Vista, Mega Bay.
That Bayou Vista. That's what I was talking about.
I mean that area is a little bit. It's comparable, but I would say just. There are actually, that's kind of the exciting thing right now on the island is we got development just round about $700 million in new development being built right now or has already been announced. So we've got Tierra, the new condos.
It's
we've
crazy,
got
man. I mean, like I remember thinking a long time ago. I grew up down there, right? And
Yeah.
just thinking, I was like, there's no more room.
Have you looked at Florida though? I mean, that's what I remember looking at back in 2000 to 2004. You know, it was like you go to Florida and you're like, there's something on every piece of land everywhere in neighborhoods and condos, and then on the island you have all this nature and all this grass and cows. We had beachfront cows up until I think there are still beachfront cows.
There are, dude.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're down there by me in the West End.
Yeah, you pass them, and so you're like, you knew the opportunity was there, and Houston's starting to catch on. I mean, it's getting to be, but yeah, that Saks development that's coming is going to be a $500 million development within a quarter mile of our office, and you're talking about multiple condo towers, hotel towers, shopping, like the whole nine. It's a big deal.
That's beachside, right?
Well, beachside's across the street. This is right across from Diamond Beach, if you know where I'm talking. Like there's still a sign there, and actually one of our agents has a little billboard right there, which is kind of funny. But that land sold, and that's their development. So I got to talk to the developer, and
cool.
It's happening. Like it's already approved and everything. So they're literally in the final stages of groundbreaking. And we got Margaritaville. That's going to be fun.
So Bolivar got one. Is that the one?
They have a Margaritaville RV park. We're getting like a true tower Margaritaville community with private houses, and it's going to be like a sort of a private rental community.
Is that going to be part of the same big
close
$500 million
to Palisade Palms, actually? So
development?
It's East End. Totally different.
Way over there.
Yeah, so it's actually
cow.
probably going to be a lot more than $750 million, because just the Saks was 500. Tierra across the street was something big, like 100 million. I mean, it's a big project. You've seen the giant crane that, you got to look up every time you're passing it. But you're talking about, that, and then there's Rosetta, that new little neighborhood as you're going west before Pirates Beach. I know of 2 or 3 other developments that aren't even announced. So we've got house building going on all over the island. But that development brings in excitement, and those condo towers bring in marketing. And we actually, I think we hit kind of a low point in vacation rental. Our permits were down quite a bit from the peak, and my rentals are dramatically up this year. So it seems like demand is accelerating, and the permits are still kind of coming down. So I know you've had an experience but if you can get your rental numbers up, you can have literally someone pay for your house while you retire in Houston, and then have a free house in Galveston, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's what it's American
Life goal.
dream. Life goal.
Yeah.
Well, for sure. I mean, that's what a lot of people. All right, we'll speak to that since we're talking about it for a second. Yep. So in 2021, everybody bought 50% are unloaded. That's why there's such a large amount of inventory on the island right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's the angle strategy there for, I guess, the person trying to get out of the deal, the agent trying to help that person?
Yep.
Who's winning, who's losing? Because some people are upside down, right? It's not maybe paying for itself anymore, and
I feel like the equity, though. What the market shows is the equity is the highest it's ever been still. So people still have equity, which is why you're seeing a little bit of activity, maybe some foreclosures, but all in all, the people don't have to sell, which is why there's a lot of termination. So the actual this was something we looked at for our office meeting, but we had looked at inventory not that long ago, and it was 17 months of inventory, which is pretty crazy. But right now, it's 11 months, and it's on a pretty dramatic decline. And so the reason is we're having a lot more sales activity. And so, we could keep this trend. It's a lot more neutral than it was a year ago for sure. And so prices are coming down a little bit, but that means more people can enter the market. And so interest rates came down a little bit. So we're having, year over year, every month this year has been better sales than last year. So, that's exciting. So
that is exciting.
The inventory is coming down. If I owned there, which I do, I would just rent them out. If you can find the right rental company and you can have the right income, my first house I bought in 2006, and it was $150,000 for a 5-bedroom house. And now it's added a pool and it's a vacation rental, and we can get over 120,000 a year with that house.
That's amazing.
So I mean but that trajectory will happen again. I mean, this is this little decline that we're having in real estate prices is only really the third time in history that that's ever happened, and I think the market is going to be going up here soon. At some point, it's just real estate's priced in gold, and the way gold happened, it just made real estate relatively cheap, and so it doesn't feel like it. I know people kind of are having a little bit of trouble right now, but if you can get into a vacation rental, especially with some of the new tax incentives, like you can offset almost all of your active income from vacation rentals now, which that's never happened. I mean, that was enacted this year.
Wow.
So have you heard of that?
No, man. Yeah, elaborate.
Yeah. So you're off of normally you couldn't take vacation rental, off of your active income, but your vacation rentaling, as you know, is a pretty active thing, even if you have a company, but you can do a cost segregation on your property that you buy, and sometimes you can get maybe a 40% number, and that you can take as instant depreciation, which is like the same as almost like a 179, like how you could buy a truck or whatever, a piece of equipment, and write it all off in 1 year.
Okay.
And so if you have enough income and you bring down your income, you'll get a tax refund of
that's
50,000, 70,000. Yeah, you can get a pretty amazing, and you could do that one time a year, 2 times a year. I mean, we had people, cool. And it came into effect at the very end of last year. So people literally in December at the end were buying $1 million houses so that they can get that tax break.
God, that's crazy.
And so, but I think it's going to keep helping to ramp up. But if the government wants us to own houses, I mean, it wants us to create jobs and to create space for people to enjoy. Like, there's no way there's enough hotels on the island to cover. So that's why the vacation rentals, pretty much on the island, we're about 100% in the summertime for all of June, all of July, Memorial Day to Labor Day. It's a busy time. So we have, let's call it 4,000 to 5,000 vacation rentals, and without those, I mean, imagine what the hotels would do. Like it might be $1,000 a night.
Yeah, that's also very true. Man, so just more accolades on you. 40 under 40, Galveston Daily News. Was that Remax that was in the Galveston Daily News, or was that you just 40 under 40?
Me personally, yeah.
Got it.
So
congrats on that. That's huge.
Thank you. Yeah, I wish I was still 40, but that was a few years ago now. But it was fun to be recognized.
No time machines yet.
Yes. Let's pause that aging.
Right. And then this is pretty cool. So Small Business of the Year in the Regional Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So that's and you said that was like a couple of years ago, but so number one out of over 1,000 businesses.
Oh yeah, So the Regional Chamber of Commerce is actually the oldest chamber of commerce west of the Mississippi. So Gina's a good friend of ours, and we just got involved, and we kind of got a little bit of recognition finally for what we were doing. And actually, Ryson had been nominated for Small Business of the Year, and so we were going to the ribbon cuttings and doing all that. But that particular year, they did it with 3 companies, and so it was Carnes Funeral Home, and then I think it was Galveston Brewing, and so we were competing against, beer and death, I think, and it's like, so we didn't win that year, but it was still cool to be named. But then coming back and naming a Small Business of the Year was, I mean, that's really a highlight for me.
Big honor, man. Yeah, it's a badge of honor.
Big deal. Yeah. And so
congratulations.
We're excited about that. There's a lot more to come, I think, but we've got, again, just being at the production level we are. Remax has awarded us and rewarded us. We get something every year, so it's nice that they actually give us something and have something for us, but just spreading that out and trying to use that to highlight what we're doing, because the agents too, that's the other part of it, is the agents are getting awarded. I mean, they're winning. I think we had 10 or 15 agents with the Real Trends Awards that were just announced. We've got one of the top agents in the whole state. We've got, I think, Caroline won Torchbearer, which is the top production under 40.
Wow.
I mean, she was number 11, I think, in Texas for sales, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, those awards definitely make everybody feel good, and we try to highlight the agents' accomplishments, because it's a small island, and to be able to do that kind of production is a big deal. So, but I do feel like the brand contributes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do that with Ryson. I mean, I created that brand, created the name. Every time you talk to somebody, they're like, what does that mean again? You're like, well, explain the story. And then, you can win them over, but with Remax, it's like somebody walks in the door, they're like, I want to list my house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, all of my agents were like, it's night and day, 100% different.
God, that's nuts.
So
that is powerful.
So brand.
And then you were talking about Ryson before we started, and then you said, is it VRMA or Vermas?
We always it's a VRMA. We said Verma because it's cute. But yeah, it's a big organization. I mean, if you're in the vacation rental space, you're definitely a member. And when we joined back in the day, maybe 2012, it was really when we first realized what we didn't know, and so that was really the accelerating point for the vacation company. And being able to be highlighted, they ended up awarding us with the #1 marketing campaign in whatever year that was. I think it was 2020. And so, our national recognition. I mean, we got up in front of, there's usually 1,400 people or 1,400 companies that come to that, have representation at that national event.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it was
huge.
A very large conference room, and it was a complete surprise. Like we had no idea.
You had no clue.
Didn't know.
Holy cow!
And so actually, we had taken a decent sized group with us, and our marketing guy was there, and
solid.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a good deal, and we were excited for that. And that particular YouTube channel that we created now has over 670,000 views. So
yeah,
shout out to Thomas for doing that for us. But I mean, his videography was good. I mean, we had a host that would go tour these properties and do all the things in Galveston, like highlight the beaches or the pleasure pier.
That's so important, man. It was the best.
It was fun. So we're actually excited to start doing that again. I think I told you we have our advertising company now.
Yeah, that's where I was going next. Yeah, so let's hear. So it's Advir.
Advir, yes.
Advir.
Thank you, ChatGPT, for the help with the naming that. But
yeah,
it was unique, and it sounds kind of like advertising or something. So
yeah,
we wanted. 100%. If you type into Google, I wanted to make sure we had a unique name, which is exactly why we created Ryson back in the day, because we were at the time the only Ryson, RYSON company in the country. And then, ironically, maybe 10 years later or something, there was a company in California that was Ryson, and somebody sent it to me, and I looked it up, and sure enough, it was started with a Ryan and a Jason, just like our company. But of course, I ended up buying out my partner in 2000, I think it was 2009, but kept the name. But now there is another Ryson in the country, but I don't think there's another Advir, so we're unique in that.
Yeah, and we'll talk to that. Like what industries and businesses are you helping with Advir right now, and looking to help?
We're trying to do a full marketing company. So right now the focus is on a little bit of real estate photography, because we naturally want to make sure we cater to the agents and provide them a little bit higher. Our own agents, we give them a little bit cheaper package. We give them a little bit more, drone footage, and video is a big deal. So we're trying to push them to that. But yeah, we manage a full marketing for several companies on the island, and we do for all of our own internal companies. So we've got 5 or 6, however you want to look at it. But that requires social media presence. It requires videography, photography. We've got PPC campaigns. So SEO has always been my thing. I mean, I've been doing that for 25 years now, and I think we had the #1. Our vacation company was #1 on the searches. I did that 3 times with that, changing the domain name.
That's so cool.
And then now, property management, that's how we've grown our company so fast. And we just get a call, and they're like, hey, you want to manage these properties? Yes. so we literally grew from, as soon as we started to focus on that, like I had the vacation company before, and we just took on a few long-term properties as kind of like, we had leads for it, but we didn't really want to do it. And, then when I sold the vacation company, we kept it. And so maybe we had about 50 units back then. And so at the start of 22, and then we had to build the website. We bought it, changed the name, from Ryson to Gulf Coast Palms Property Management.
Great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Love the name.
I think
anything Gulf Coast, I'm a fan.
Yeah. And we had to name it that long because every name you could think of for property management was
Sounds
taken.
like, it almost sounds like a restaurant, right?
I mean, Gulf Coast Palms. So it couldn't be just Gulf Coast Property Management. It couldn't be just Gulf.
Yeah.
It couldn't be like every name that we looked up was already taken by the state. So,
Okay.
you know, but Gulf Coast Palms Property Management was available. We had
That's awesome.
a design on the logo that looked really good, and the color scheme I think is pretty nice. We had another company that was almost the same that we kind of went off after, but you know, so yeah, but Google brought us 400 units in about 3 years. So once we got the website
That's
up,
insane.
we started ranking number one for Galveston Property Management, Galveston TX Property Management specifically. And then, you know, it's the same for all that, but, you know, being able to come up number one for Galveston Beach House Rentals like we did before, that's the number one search
incredible.
term. So
Yeah.
we had 50% direct bookings. So we didn't use Airbnb and VRBO, but 50% just came from the website.
No way. That's
It's
insanely
it's
impressive.
crazy.
And you're already probably talking about it, but you can build on it with
Right.
answering this question. You know, you told me in a conversation offline, you're just like, golly, because we're on this, you know, on this topic. You're like, knowing what I know now, right? You know, like I can see, I see
Yeah.
things completely different, right? So what are some of those, you know, key things you learned with having Ryson for all the
Yep.
time that you did, sold it, bought Remax kind of the same time or whatever, and then now
Yep.
Gulf Coast Palms, you're about to relaunch another layer on top. It's all the
Yeah.
same, but
So I guess, you know, that's kind of the thing that we've been working on. So, you know, when I sold that company, I really didn't think I would get back into vacation rentals.
yeah, I remember you saying that.
5 years, no compete, which I probably could have worked on that a little bit. But it was a little bit long, but it's been the right timing, and the market's done what it's done. But that expires up in November, and so we're kind of charging forward now, and so we'll be having our new brand, which is Gulf Coast Palms Vacation Rentals, and right along with property management. And you know, but yeah, doing it the first time was so hard. I mean, everything was like, you had to learn from scratch. So we didn't know how to manage vacation rentals. We didn't have, we literally started with note cards and a flip binder, and there was no software that literally worked. And now, of course, we worked with a software called Streamline for about 10 years, 8 years at the end. And they're still the number one vacation rental software, so we'll just be able to plug right back into that. But it's exciting because,
It is.
you know, doing it this time, like we already have the website, we already have my own personal vacation rentals that I manage. So I've been continuing to manage and keeping up with the trends and making sure that I know what takes to book. But when everybody else's vacation rentals are coming down in income or coming down in rates, mine have been going up every year. So from 22, 23, 24. And so it's just little incremental things. But, you know, when you manage 275 rentals, you know, you do this one thing and you add $40,000, or you add this one thing and you add $10,000 a year. And you can see it across, you know, the whole portfolio. And so you have a little bit of insider information. But yeah, this time I'm like, we're going to really push owners to do those things, because we didn't feel like that was our place before. Like we can rent your house, we'll make you way more money than the competition, which was always our claim to fame. Like we would usually make 2 or 3 times what the other companies were making, and we would sometimes lose a property for something, and then the owner would come back and be like, yeah, that didn't work out. Like we literally had a property that was $30,000 with us, went to another company, did 13, came back. I mean, we had properties that we took from the competition, you know, they were doing 20 or 30,000 and we do 100,000. So I mean, it's a huge difference. So we weren't perfect in management, but I mean, we did the right things, and that's what I think all of these companies that have come into the local market, they're national companies, and they're not running a vacation rental company the way that it needs to be run. And so, you know, and that's fine. They run a different ship, but we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to build it better and faster. So yeah, it's like when you know how to do something, it's just do it faster.
Yeah, 100%.
And
You have
better.
the insight and the pedigree and the history and all the things you're talking about. So,
Yep.
You're already kind of talking about this just now also, but I want to ask you anyway, because you can, in whatever capacity you want to answer it. Biggest obstacle. I know you've had probably hundreds, right, in all different businesses, but what was just an example, one that's memorable, maybe fun to talk about. Big obstacle. What was it? How'd you overcome it?
Who knows? We've had so many. It's just, I mean, we literally opened the doors in 2006, And then in '08 we got hit with Ike, if you remember that one.
Oh, dude.
So
yeah,
and
it's just,
that was crazy because like our office flooded, everything on the island pretty much, and then whatever that was September, and then the stock market crashed like right after. We're like, which was cool because I didn't have any stocks, so I was like, it's not a big deal for me, but it was like, okay, the economy is, but then in Galveston, like we had this portfolio. I think we had 60 houses maybe, and there was 0 vacation rentals. And so we pivoted and started renting to the FEMA employees, and we went 100% booked for 2 years.
Ooh.
So our owners made that money when there was, I don't know if you ever, did you make it to the island during that time with the boats up on the 45?
I have footage, man.
Your house is there.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what that was like?
Everything on the
Did you go to the west end when the sand was like 20 feet on either side?
Either side. It was the eeriest thing I've ever experienced on the island, man.
So we were business owners, so they let us in. I got to check my house, which lucky I didn't flood there. But the police officer was a friend of mine. He's like, you don't want to be here. Just I stayed with a buddy for weeks, and I didn't have hot water in my house after I moved back in for like 2 weeks or maybe even a little bit longer. Damn. So just cold showers, and we worked that whole time to just survive. And so that was pretty rough. But if you survive, you just get stronger. And
that's so true, man.
Then the next one, Harvey. I feel like after that though, those things became like motivational sources. A storm comes in and we're there to help and pick up the pieces. And we did the same thing. We became a government contractor after Harvey. And personally, I went and bought a bunch of RVs and rented them out to help people. Because, you remember Harvey wasn't bad for Galveston so bad, but it was really bad for Houston.
Yeah.
So, we housed those people. So we had, at the time, maybe 120 rentals. And we filled them up with vouchers and went 100% booked for our owners, but we also helped out a tremendous amount of families. We had I think it was 150 units, but anyways, we had 150 families, but then some of my employees went out and bought RVs too, and so it was a lot more than 150 families.
Dang,
because
dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was
it
was a blessing in disguise, but it also, highlighted how we pivot and how we can help people, and that's one of the reasons to be a government contractor in that case. But when things hit you like that, it's and there's always we had to fight vacation rental. They tried to ban vacation rentals on the island, and we were like one of the main. We were going to city council meetings. We brought in the VRMA, who hired and spent a tremendous amount of money to do an economic study, and it turned out like the island lives off of vacation rentals. It's not just the hotel tax, the 15% hotel tax, but we paid millions and millions in hotel tax. But it's all of the nightly. Like if somebody comes in and they're staying, their family spends $100 a day or more now, obviously with inflation. But back then, it was like we had 7 million visitors, and maybe half of them stayed in vacation rentals.
Yeah.
So imagine cutting that out.
Yeah.
It would have been terrible.
Yeah. It's wild.
Crazy.
Wild stats.
They tried to close our business. Oh, and then COVID. COVID, they literally came in with the police in our office. The mayor stopped all hotels and all vacation rentals and just shut them down for 30 days. It was like, just go home. And if you do a vacation rental, we're going to arrest you.
Golly.
Like they had their lights on in our parking lot. We're like, we have long-term rentals too. Like we have people that are staying with us to go to MD Anderson. Like we have month-to-month guests. Like these people, they can't leave. Like we're still managing those properties.
What'd they say to that?
Okay. A 30-day rental was okay. A 14-day rental was go to jail.
Got it. Damn, I did not know it was like that serious.
It was that serious. So then, obviously Galveston we got lucky. It's a good place to socially distance on the beach. And as soon as they opened so 1 month later, give or take, maybe 6 weeks, the island was completely closed to visitors. And then they opened it. We went 100% booked, basically, for the whole rest of the summer.
Oh,
it was insane.
2 years or 3, like it was bananas.
It was bananas.
I remember.
Yeah.
that.
So, I mean, the owners benefited, but surviving that, I mean, it looked like we literally thought we were going to be closed. I mean,
That's
it
terrifying.
was, we had to pay our employees, but we had no income.
It's wild, man.
So, yeah. So we survived that. That was an obstacle. Business ownership is, which is hilarious, but, you know, the other thing is being able to, you know, we have some high level people that are in the same business. So being able to talk to those people and to help them invest and help them grow their business, because really, like, agent retirement is owning real estate.
Yeah, I know. I love you said that. I love that. I mean, it is. I mean, why would you not practice what you preach? Everybody
Yep.
wants to do it anyway, and if like that's your deal,
a
that's
lot of
your
them do,
profession. I
and
don't
if-
know why that wouldn't be your retirement. You know,
Your full goal. Because I mean, whatever you're trying to teach somebody, if you haven't done it yourself, it's real hard. Like, you go to the car dealer and you're like, "Hey, you got a car?" And they're like, "No." And you're like, "You, how do you know about cars? Like, you don't own one?" No, I don't like, cars. But in real estate, most agents for sure don't own a house. A lot of them, and they definitely don't own an investment property. But we have probably half of our agents have a beach house or a second house or an investment property somewhere.
you did a really good job at the awards luncheon, giving recognition to your agents, not just for like what they produced, last year, but also their portfolio of like just like what they have, how many houses that they own. Like that's and I mean honestly, even at the time, I remember thinking, I was like, I mean, that's cool, but I mean, it doesn't seem that notable. Like, why is he bringing that up? But like, the more I've thought about it, let it sink in, and hearing you talk about it, like, dude, that's major. That's like, that's huge. And I mean, it's good
And I
for them
want them to
financially.
think
It's
about
good for their
that, too.
retirement. It's good for them to be able to tell the other people that they're working with and serving.
I fully believe in it. I mean, real estate, I wish I'd bought 10 more houses in 2006. But it was funny because at the time on the island, all of the agents in my office were like, "You're overpaying for that house." That house was, $100,000 2 years ago. I'm like, well, the mortgage is going to be like $700, and that's less than what I'm paying for rent. So I think it seems to make sense. They're like, no, you're buying at the peak of the market.
Yeah.
These were the agents in my office that were selling other people's houses at the same time, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But my grandfather told me the story. He's bought houses for the first house was like $7,000. The house that I remember them growing, like where I went,
What's
as
the
a kid.
timeline on that? 7,000 for a house. What year was this?
It wasn't that long ago. I mean, he bought the house that I remember in, I think it was the 82 or something like that, 83, and it was $28,000. And then after it ended up flooding during Harvey, actually, and I ended up selling it. I rehabbed it and sold it for almost $300,000. 280,000 or something like that. But, just the house, I don't know how you want to look at that, but I mean, that's a good return on investment. I don't know what percentage that is, but he
100%.
bought a house one time and the downturn, I don't remember what year it was, but, if he's still around, he told me that story about 20 times, but, he got a house, the guy was in trouble and he bought it, and there was more in escrows at title that he got than what he paid for it.
It's insane.
And so, so there's times property always goes up. I think mostly because money goes down. And so, real estate's a great investment. And I remember when I was a kid and even in high school, the only thing I could think about was buying a house and owning a business. And so as soon as I started my business in 2006, I mean, that was the first thing I thought about. But really, I mean, I was selling houses in 2004. I was top producer or rookie of the year in that year. And, I made more then, I think, from the real estate office than I do now for owning the brokerage. But, it's agents, it's powerful. I mean, imagine making that much money in 2004. I was still in college, actually. I still hadn't graduated yet and was making six figures. It was eye-opening,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we got agents. I mean, a good agent can make on the island easily, $250,000 to $500,000. Our top agent was over $3 million in income, gross income.
That's awesome.
Yep. So I mean, it's a powerful. You're a business owner, and that's why I try to do what I say. So if I'm telling them to go invest in real estate, that's why like I've got to do that. Or if I'm like, you guys, own your own business, you got to do these certain things. Like I'm doing it as well, and on multiple fronts too.
Yeah, I think that's powerful as a leader, right? You're in the trenches with them. And
Trying to help them.
everybody responds well to that. It's a case study. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can point.
And I don't really compete with them. I mean, I only sell for friends and family at the moment, so it's
that's cool.
Previous and other brokers on the island, which no problem with it, but they're the number one agent in their office.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
if your name is on the billboard, and somebody calls the office, it's like they're probably going to be calling the name on the sign, and it just works out that they are the top producer in their office.
Yep.
So, which, in the old days, I think it was you wanted to be the broker and owner, but now it's the margins have squeezed and gotten compressed, and it's way more lucrative to be an agent than it is to be a broker.
Yeah.
So you still get your broker's license for education, but if I wanted to maximize my income, I'd be selling houses instead of helping the agents. But I still like the idea of being able to help 50 families than just focusing on myself.
Admirable. How many of your agents have billboards?
Actually, quite a few.
I know. I
Yeah.
see them all over the place. I was wondering if you did the
Caroline,
Yeah.
Amy, Ryan, signs going on. I think Mark's got one now with his face on it.
Who's on 45?
Caroline.
That's Caroline?
Yep, Spagnola.
Okay.
So she's got on both sides of the freeway.
Yeah.
It's pretty fancy.
That's so cool.
So yeah, I think marketing is the thing.
It is.
So you got to hear a little bit about that at the award ceremony, but appreciate you talking there. That was that was exciting.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I meant to tell you that at the very beginning of this deal, but yeah, that was a ton of fun.
Yeah, so that's another time.
Anytime,
I get to learn stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
being able to do that. So that's why I like to learn and do the podcast. I watch a lot of podcasts, and obviously keeping up with yours, but 20 other people too. So I can take that to the agents. They're so high level. It's like, how do you teach somebody that's doing that much, but their focus might be really narrow, and we'll be like, hey, you can be the best agent in the world, but if you don't have marketing, you don't have leads, then you're not going to produce. And so
No, it'll never work.
try to make them think about what's important and their priorities.
Yeah, I learned early on. I mean, when I was like 21 years
Mm-hmm.
old, the importance of I would rather have a plethora of leads than I'll forego that sale all day long.
Yeah.
It's because I got all this opportunity over here,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna.
I feel like too, like
not worth the swap.
that was the thing with what I learned early on, which is what made me successful. But if you can go out and go to all the meetings and all the luncheons and go to meet people personally and get personal referrals, which is super powerful. But if people call you and say, "Hey, I want to buy a house," that's better. And so, but when I had my website,
That's a little better.
that's better. So I created the number one website when I was an agent, which ended up getting me on a TV show for Vacation Home Search. For my very first clients, I had my license like a week, and I went in the office when it was closed with broker's permission and sold a house that day.
Damn.
And then that client became a friend, and he still owns that property, which is hilarious because it's been since 2004.
Yeah.
And one day he'll sell it, and I'll get to help him out on that.
Yeah.
But it was $186,000 then, and now it was a very nice canal house,
Sure.
$1 million house, easy. But that level, but being the number one when you typed in Galveston Realtor, Galveston Real Estate, my website was number one. So I was getting 50, 70 leads a month, maybe 100. And so I didn't have anything else. I didn't have a CRM. I didn't have knowledge of how to sell houses. It took a little while, a couple months to get there, but I had a really good web developer, and he built the website, and I was like, all right. And then no leads came in, and I was like, what do I got to do now? So that was 2004, and I was researching SEO and how to rank. So wrote a bunch of blogs, and man, I was all over the internet till 2 a.m. every day, and just posting every night. And eventually, the website just was to the top number one for those search terms.
Wow.
So
That's
that
awesome.
was the insight. And I was like, if I could do that for that, maybe I can do that for vacation rentals or something else.
Yeah, and then
Boom.
down the rabbit hole you
But
go.
now it's so much harder, but it still works. I mean, we've already brought websites up to the top within a pretty short time. So that property management website is, it's pretty powerful already.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tricks to it, but
I can't wait to watch you in, the next handful of months blow up Advere for the second time, in Galveston County property management company, and just, taking over by storm. That's going to be, it's going to be fun to watch because I know you this time around. I watched, Ryson was all over the place.
You know more about marketing than anybody. I mean, it's the print, that's hard. I mean, but again, it was, you were in sales and you had to sell people, but then, people still had to find you. So I think that's how you got your way into the online part too, which is, it's hard now. I mean, think about how much competition you've got, and the same with the agents. I mean, they're competing against Zillow and Realtor and all these different.
Dude, it's survival of the fittest.
It is.
Always has been, always will be. But it helps and also makes it a lot more competitive, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, and you got to be and I think that's important too, man. You got to be a good agent. Like, and after COVID, it was like everybody was a real estate agent, and now they're all gone. Every one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if you made it, you made it. But if you're not selling a house a month, it would be really hard to become an expert in real estate because you only get a couple looks a year. You don't know how to do the things, like what are the important parts of inspections, or what's going to bust this deal under contract, or is this condo a condotel, or is it going to be able to get financing? Like, if you haven't sold something there, you might not know that they don't allow dogs at all, and your client, that's the most important thing to them. So, but you got to sell a lot of properties to do that, and so experience comes. So now we've got a much higher level of professional agents in the country and in Texas and in Galveston than we did before.
That's awesome, man.
So,
well, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, we've got all of the things. So Galveston TX Property Management is our website. Remax Leading Edge. We've got all the things. Social media. We've got me. You can find me on the internet. Jason Keeling. Look. If you need something locally, I can help a lot of different ways. But we're excited about the vacation company. So again, Gulf Coast Palms Property Management, and eventually Gulf Coast Palms Vacation Rentals, or Beach House Rentals. We'll figure that part out. But and then obviously Advere. Advere is, you can find that real estate photography. We do that. So, I mean,
one-stop shop.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we do. So, but yeah, I'm easy to find. I try to practice what I preach.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And every one of those websites,
High value.
I have those email addresses. So I can give you 10 different email addresses, but they're all out there. So
yeah, fantastic. All right, last couple rapid fire questions I got for you, Ben. Okay. What's success mean to you?
Well, it changes through the years, but right now I think it just means not overworking, just trying to be calm. It's the family, got to take care of the family, spending the time, try to enjoy Galveston. It's easy to get caught up in the work, and when you sometimes I remember my old broker saying, she hadn't been to the beach in a couple of years, and I was like, what the, so
that's nuts.
So I try to go as much as I can.
Kelly, come on! I hope you're going to the beach now.
No, that was actually Judy Grover back in the day. My first broker. She was awesome, but it's just that's what happens. You get kind of like burned out, I guess, or jaded,
just
or
like working down there. I don't even feel like I'm working, or it's maybe as much,
beach,
right?
But I do get busy.
Calls, walking up and down the seawall.
You got to take the time.
It's
funny because you're working from your truck, and I'm like, I'm stuck in the office, but I can peek up and see the water from my window, which is nice. But I got to get out there, and so so eventually getting a ranch again is one big deal. I want to leave the family some land, but success is trying to work smarter and try to have leverage. Like if I was to do real estate, I'd have a team for sure, and I kind of feel like I have a team now with 50 agents, and so
I would say so.
Success is just doing the thing. I mean, it's hard, but it's rewarding.
How about legacy? What does that mean to you?
Yep. I got some stuff in the works for that. So I got some ideas, but hopefully, as an example, going to be buying a strip center and renaming it. I have so just being able to pass that every day and see the sign, and I've got a couple other commercial properties that I could do that with if I wanted to. But just leaving the next generation with a little something, and I think that's exciting. Other legacy, it's just showing them the things, teaching them common sense and, getting the land. I mean, we've got the land now, so that's why we did that with the chicken and the gardens and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
I think giving them a leg up.
Got it. Favorite book?
Favorite book? God, who knows?
Or most recent book you read? I don't know, whatever.
I actually, reading the Bible right now. So it's important to get those life lessons and perspective on everything. So that's a read to get through that.
It is.
It is.
I've asked that question over 300 times, and I've had less than 5 people say the Bible.
Really?
Less than 5.
Yeah. I mean,
Or whatever sort. And I mean, maybe they go to church every Sunday. It's just,
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, I could probably say that for the next while because it's going to be. It's going to, yeah. But you get through it and you get to the points, and then you're like, what does that mean? So then you dive into the research on other stuff. But trying to live that way and raise the kids that way, it's important. But I read it a long time ago, and to be honest, it was so long ago I barely remember it. But other than that, I have a library in my house, and it's got hundreds and hundreds of books, but I haven't read a book in so long. It's just, podcasting is...
Same, man. I consume them,
it's
via
the information.
Audible and whatever.
But I would love to read it. Like, if I had... Actually, come to think of it, I have your book right there on the table. I got to read that next, probably.
Yeah.
That'll be a good read.
It'll be a lot easier than the Bible.
How many books did you read? Right.
2.
2, okay.
Yeah.
So I got to get the other one. But, yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff just motivates you. So that in the old days, it was just, lay there and read. Now it's lay there and podcast. So I think for me, growth is always the most important thing. So just education, learning. Like, God, in school, I never cared about any of that stuff, learning. And now it's like I wish I could go back and take 4 years to learn without. But even then, I worked 40 hours full time.
It's funny you say that. I remember being a kid. I remember my dad making such a big deal, like hammering it on. I mean, learning disabilities, ADD, wasn't the fastest reader, and I fought it. I did not want to mess with it. Did not want to pick up a book, and summer reading, hated it. Just didn't want to mess with it. So I think I repressed for years, and then all of a sudden, man. I mean, it was probably most of my teenage years, and then. I think sales, right? Read a couple sales book, boom, 2021. Exciting. I was like, dude, now I'm just hungry.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
So like 20 plus years, I've just been, gimme. Studying my ass off. Love it.
Gary Killer's, Buy and Hold. I mean, all his books. Yeah. Like, that was what I was doing before I bought my first piece of real estate. I probably read who knows how many books on how to buy a piece of property.
Book. That was The Millionaire Real Estate Agent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first. I think I read that first.
That was first, and then Shift.
Yeah. Yeah. Buy and Hold, I don't remember which, but yeah, I had read 20 books on it by that point. And then his point about, if you can get $100 a month, buy the house. And I was like, $100 a month? It just doesn't seem like it's worthwhile.
No, yeah.
But it is, because it compounds. So, if you bought a house that had $100 in rent a month profit back then, now it's probably $1,000 a month in profit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Little things.
Gotta keep learning.
True. What's your favorite restaurant?
Ooh,
on the island.
Somebody's gonna.
I'm gonna go on the island.
Somebody's gonna hurt me probably.
Uh-oh.
No, we like.
Let's go on and off.
Yeah, so definitely number 13 for me. That's the place. Pull the boat up, and we know the chef. I mean, we've been going there since grand opening. But I like to go to Guido's. Can't leave them out. But more like Redfish or Nick's outside or outside bar.
Yeah.
But Steakhouse is good too. That's. What about you? You've had them all?
Dude.
I know, put you in the spot.
Guido's has definitely been I'd say over the course of my life, probably, one of my go-tos.
I can't leave out Yamato's.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah. I don't think so.
Ooh. I've been eating there since college, but if you want the best sushi on the island, and it's like a hibachi, they do it right in front of you.
Okay.
So, but man, the food there is so good.
There.
And the owners are amazing, good people. They're always there, and so I can't leave them out, but being across the street from their restaurant.
Where is it?
It's on 61st.
Yamato's?
Yamato's.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If you hadn't been there, I'm like, write that down.
I did. I'll be there within the next 7 days.
Tell Lisa howdy.
I'm going down there tomorrow.
That's right.
Well, to the island, but I'll probably get it. I'll follow them.
Now I'm talking about it. I'm
Monday
like, I could eat some sushi.
Yeah. Down. Dream vacation.
Ooh.
What does that look like for you, or have you already had it?
Yeah. I mean, I've done all the islands and cruises and stuff. I think what I want to do now is probably Europe, but maybe, I mean, I want to do so much.
That'd
But
be good for you, man.
Italy, I was watching all these videos on castles the other day in Ireland, and but that whole area, I mean, it's funny how small it is because you think it's big, but like it's the size of Texas, you can go to 10 different countries.
How many you've been on a lot of cruises? How many cruises you been on?
20 or 30.
Dang,
Maybe more.
I might be pushing 12. Maybe.
Yeah, it's.
But
I mean, that's the
20, 30.
What do you even talk about any of that stuff? The port and all the cruise growth. I mean, I used to work at the cruise terminal in college. Like, I mean, it started when I was in Galveston. That was the first
awesome.
cruise.
Were you going to A&M Galveston? You were working there?
Security guard. That was super cool.
That's awesome,
But
man.
yeah, I mean, now we're getting. So I'm a pilot commissioner for state of Texas, so for Galveston.
Okay.
And being involved in the port, obviously going to A&M was a big deal, but the maritime industry is what I thought I was going to be doing for a career. So I was in the Corps for 2 years doing transportation, and then graduated with a business degree. But now I get to go to A&M, go to the campus, and meet with the pilots, and I know stuff that's coming that people don't know about. But we got another cruise terminal coming, maybe another one after that.
Golly.
So it's exciting, and
it is.
So yeah, what's your favorite cruise line?
Man, Royal Caribbean.
Yeah.
Probably the nicer one that I went on.
We've been on so many Carnival.
Is that Diamond Princess, or is that just the name of a boat? I did that.
Princess Cruises is Princess.
Okay, I've been on Princess.
And there's a bunch of different
I've
ships.
been on Royal Caribbean and then Carnival. Those three.
Norwegian, Seascape, MSC.
I haven't been on those.
MSC's the newer one. It's European based, so the service is different, but the ship's beautiful. So just having options. But man, come to Galveston. A lot of our guests that stay go a couple days in the house, and then they go on their trip. That way, they're not, flying in or something.
Yeah.
And missing the boat, which it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
So gotta be careful. But
that is
yeah,
true.
so there's a whole port plan that's coming where that whole, Willie G's we forgot to talk about, but that whole area is going to be redone, and it's going to be like walking areas and parks and waterfalls and fountains, and
it makes me so happy. All the
it's going
growth
to
in
be beautiful.
Galveston.
Yeah, so you can go to the Strand and then
There's
walk
so
across.
much to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard entertainment, man. You live like
people in
a
Houston
tourist.
that poop on Galveston. I'm like, your head's in the sand, man. It's like, I don't understand.
Come on.
Like, literally.
You got to go.
It's like you're talking about these white beaches that you go to once every 2 years, maybe. It's like, I'm on the beach weekly.
And the water, when it's green, like if you go offshore, we go fishing, the water's the same color. I mean, you can catch the same fish.
Hey, look, the first cruise I went on, or not the first one, but that I paid attention, I mean, we weren't, the lane was right there.
Off. Yeah.
We barely. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
We see sea turtles every time we're out there now.
I was like, I feel like I could swim to this blue water. It was that close. It's just barely behind the shore. It's not that far off.
Well, eventually we got to get out in the boat and do some fishing. That's
priority
number one. With Jackson's getting a little bit older now, so he's almost 5 in July, but.
It's going to
be his fishing
trip.
A
week or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah,
but we're busy, man. We got a lot.
Sandbar was fun, but that's So I bet you nobody that's listening to this knows that we have a sandbar in Galveston where you can take your boat and pull up, and everybody gets in the water. I mean, it's like I was just looking at that in Florida on their little Crab Island, but nobody knows that we have a sandbar.
And you can see it from 45.
Nobody looks at it. They probably think they're fishing or something.
You're going over the bridge. You see a bunch of boats over to the right. They're having a good time. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're all hanging out.
It's family friendly too.
Yeah, family friendly. Kids.
That is more just one of those
dogs
things.
Out there. Yeah.
Close to Moody Gardens. Everybody knows Moody Gardens.
Yeah. What's your favorite product or brand that you could not live without?
Ooh, Remax. Right?
That's perfect, man.
I mean, I truly believe it, man. It's the number one brand. Like, everybody recognizes Remax.
Yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to create was a brand. I literally built it for 20 years with Ryson.
Yeah.
And it took me that long to get number one, recognition on the island. We had signs everywhere. I mean, we had 275 vacation rentals with signs. Yeah. And it was like, and then Remax. It's like everybody knows. Like, you put on, that's why I like to wear, I was going to wear a suit, as you know, but it's a little bit more relaxed, but that red, white, and blue. I mean, the color scheme, like, you feel you're proud to wear it. I mean,
patriotic.
It's
that's
the
cool.
best brand for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. All right, last question. What's your favorite piece of advice, and who gave it to you? Best piece of advice.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Not advice, but at Yamato's, I got a fortune cookie in college, and it said, "You'll do better in real estate than in stocks."
No way.
I think that's pretty hilarious, but
that's amazing.
it's worked out. But you know, but yeah, I think my grandfather. We talked about that. I mean, he was an American hero, amazing guy, and he loved property. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he knew how to build a house. I didn't get that, although now I'm getting more into one. I could do a lot of things and I've learned more, but you know, he told me all those stories about real estate, investing in properties, and you know, even his father, they had a dairy farm, and he could have bought it, but a dairy farm back in the day, when they sold it, it was just enough for, you know, his dad to move to the town and buy a house and to be comfortable, but not much money, you know. Mm-hmm. But it was like a 600-acre dairy farm. Now, I mean, how much would that be worth? A fully functioning dairy farm.
Oh, deep.
So buy real estate. That's the best advice, and that's what's really.
You're walking proof of that, sir.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, hey, man, great interview. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
I had a ton of fun.
That's fun.
We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, let's do it, and get down to Galveston and come check us out again.
I'm going down tomorrow, man.
Let's do it. Definitely.
Right. Cool, man.
Yeah. Money make the world go round. I'm trying to get it all right now. Everybody worried about the crown big. Look, homie, I'm the man right now. Talking to a peon, kind of time we on. Don't roll like the kind of take eons. Got a little buzz, it's time to go beyond. Can't look back, no time to hit rewind. Yeah, she wants to do S class. I'm like, boo, you must ask. They pour way too much in your glass. Just move your hips like a whole lot.